Hello everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. I have my old backdrop back, which is very nice. I've actually not been quite so lazy and come downstairs to film. I am going to do my really quick and easy summer makeup for you. This is like 5-minute makeup when you're in a rush, and we all are, let's be honest, that as I start filming, drilling starts. That is my life. It doesn't really matter if there's noise in the background because I'm not actually filming the whole video now. The reason that my makeup, my summer makeup is so quick is because I do a lot of preparation before. So I don't put my skin in the sun at all. I wear an SPF of 50, 30 sometimes, SPF 50 most of the time, especially under my makeup. And I also have an SPF powder that I put over the top throughout the day to get a little bit of a glow to, I'm trying to talk so that you don't hear the drilling, talk non-stop. To get a little bit of a glow to my skin, I put some fake tan on so that I feel like at least I'm developing a bit. What I also find with my fake tan is I suffer from very, very dark under eyes. Having fake tan on means that it's not so noticeable. They kind of make that all look like it matches. Now my go-to fake tan is actually a body face tan, and it's the only one I like because it's the only one that doesn't make me stink. Fake tan makes me utterly stink. It is called Luxe tan. Can you see it? It's not very in focus. Probably if I kept it still it would help. You can see I need a new one because it's very much running out. This is Luxe Tan Luxe The Gradual Illuminating Gradual Tan Lotion in light. Needs a shake because it's getting a bit watery now because it's running out. So all I do is I get some of that and I squirt it onto a flat surface, not the back of my hand. And then I get a little brush. I normally use like one of the Mini Real Techniques brushes, and then I just buff it over the skin. Now I like this one. It doesn't bring me out in any reaction. It's very, very lightweight. It tans really, really even, but it's only a gradual tanner, so it's not really, really dark. So I'm doing this first just to show you what I do. Normally I wouldn't have a t-shirt on. I'd bring that right the way down to my décolletage, but I didn't want to do a video with no top on. And all I do is just really buff it all the way into the skin, not too much, a bit, about the same amount as you would put on with your foundation. And that, we will come back in an hour or so and start the makeup, and that should have developed really, really nicely by then. Please don't let it go wrong. Like, if anyone watches my IGTVs, I did a how to dye your eyebrows. Literally, go to IGTV, Pixie Woo, and look at my how to dye your eyebrows because I put it up because it is so funny. I massively messed it up. Like, the look on my face as I realised that I can't get this shit off my brows is like, oh my God. And then I just stop filming abruptly, because I'm like, I need to Google how, I was filming on my phone, I needed to Google how to get rid of massively dyed wrong brows. So, leave that on. We'll be back in a couple of hours and that will have developed nicely and then we can put some makeup on. So I'm back and you can see my tan has, I'm hoping it looks like I'm more tanned because I've just been upstairs for like hours. I was already a little bit tanned before because I did this 5 days ago already, so it hadn't completely faded off, but obviously with cleansing and cleaning your face every day, the face tan seems to fade off a little bit quicker. So then I'm going to put some makeup on. My first step would be to put an SPF on. I'm not going to actually do that today because I'm not going out, I'm not leaving the house. Am I? No, I don't think I am. So I would either go for the Chapman Skinesis SPF 30, which does have a little bit of colour to it. Maybe I should just do this step. So you can see it has a little bit of colour to it. Or I would go for the Elizabeth Arden Provage SPF 50. Both I really like. I've put some of this on my hand, so I'm going to pop it on my skin now anyway. But you can see it's quite tanned anyway. So this is not as much as I would put on. I'm just using what's left on my hand actually. But that again gives me more coverage. I try to do things that mean that I don't have to wear as much makeup. So I would put that all over. And I love that you can still see my skin. It doesn't look like I've got makeup on because I'm all about that. You know, the more that people wear less, the more that people wear loads, it makes me want to do the complete opposite and wear far less. I'm then going to go in with a little bit of, this isn't a foundation, it says BFF cream, this is the Trinny one that I used on my mum, and it's like a skin perfector. It's not really enough, I would say it's like a CC cream, it's not really enough to warrant it as a foundation. And it goes on, and it's this colour, so it's clear, very much like the Estee Lauder Day Wear tint, the which I have sworn about for years for summer seasons. I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to buff that into the skin with the same brush. It doesn't look like you've got anything on, but it kind of adapts to your skin. The colour I've got is medium. Normally I would probably be lightest. And this does kind of give you a glow throughout the day. And that's just, again, giving me slightly more coverage, but still looks like my skin. Pop that all over. I like to use a small brush so I can work it into lots more areas. I'm trying to get it done before the drilling starts again. So you can see my skin doesn't look like it's got anything on. I love that. I have fine lines here, and if I put too much on, it really emphasises it. I'm then going to add a touch of concealer. I'm actually going for this. This is MAC Full Coverage Foundation. It is basically the Studio Finish Concealer, the one that comes in the little pots. This is just the foundation size of it. I absolutely love this because it covers everything, but it's really blendable and buffable, so it doesn't look like you've got tons on. I'm going to use my setting brush again, and I'm just going to work that in. This is NW25, and it's about enough colour. I'm just taking that really softly so it just grabs to certain areas to give me a tiny bit more coverage where I feel necessary. Hardly at all, but it will just cling to the skin a little bit, but still allow my skin to show through. So I'm not really dipping it back into the product, I'm just using what's left on the brush to really, really blend that into the skin. Little circular motions so it just disappears and is part of my skin. You can see the difference. My skin here, you can see a little bit of the redness. It doesn't bother me at all, but here, it's just buffed it out, but still looks the same. Does that make any sense? I'm going to buff that over my lids a little bit. So, still skin, but just slightly more perfect skin, but people can't really see that you've got stuff on. Repeat that the other side. And just remember, we're not going to need another concealer because this is a foundation concealer. So I'm just going to work a tiny bit more under the eyes. So it gives me that little bit more coverage under there. Then I'm going to go in with a touch of Milk Bronzer. This is the matte bronzer in the colour Baked. I was after a bronzer that was similar to the Chanel one, cream one, but not as expensive. I still love the Chanel one, and this is the one that I found, and it is very lovely. Take up that on the high points of the face. So I'm going to take an Expert face brush and just buff that in to the hairline. Oh goody, the builders have started again. I'm just going to work that in so it adds a bit of colour but doesn't look like I've got tons on. Now when I'm doing this without talking it through, it's really, really quick. This is like a 5-minute makeup for me because I only use a couple of brushes and I have all the products sat there, so I know what I'm going for. I'm then going to take, shaking it well, a little bit of my Daniel Sandler watercolour liquid. I'm really into these at the moment. This one is in Sun Glow. Can you see it's like a kind of bronzy tone? I'm going to take my setting brush again, one that I've already been using because I don't want to grab another brush, and just dust that on the top of the cheekbone. You'd think if you lived in the countryside it would be quiet. Nope, not when you want to film. So you can see that's so subtle, it just adds a little bit of a shine without being too much. I'm then going to take this one, which is in the colour Luxe, and this is a slightly more pinky, corally I would say, tone, and I'm going to take a small amount of that and smile. Sometimes I find when you've got a tan you need to add a bit of blush colour back into the skin, otherwise you just look orange and fake tanned. So just smile, pop that on the cheeks. I'm trying to talk over the builders. Literally they stopped and now they've just started again when I go to film. Hey ho. I'm then going to take a little bit of Kevyn Aucoin Precision Brow Pencil. This one is in the colour Dark Brunette. And I just want to, little strokes, nothing too definite or too strong, just to enhance my lower brow. And then get that spoolie and give it that brush through too so it blends. Just to give me a little bit of shape but not too done. And then a little bit of Illamasqua brow gel. Is anyone watching anything good on Netflix at the moment? I'm trying to find something new. I missed the Game of Thrones, unfortunately, and I feel like it's too late. It's like 8 seasons in. I feel like it's just too late for me to jump on that bandwagon. Now, do you think I just should? Do you think I should just binge watch? You can't really binge watch shows when you've got kids. And jobs. So I'm just brushing them up so they look a little bit fuller. I don't want them to look stenciled, so just nicely done. Now I love that Trinny foundation, but it does leave a little bit of a shine. I like it in certain places, but not all over. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Natural 11 is my colour in this. This is a foundation powder. And I'm just going to pop that over my chin. It's a foundation powder, but it's really light. A little bit around my nose. Again, setting brush. A little bit where I've got a shine there. And the rest of the shine, maybe a bit here. And actually I'm going to take it over my lids. Because I don't want to put anything on my lids. My eyes are quite, have quite pronounced orbital bone. Maybe not so much underneath because I did have fillers under my eyes that push them forward because it was, if your orbital bone is pushed in on top, then it's going to be underneath as well. So that's when you get the divot underneath. So I had fillers put in here so they're fuller, but I naturally have a very, very strong crease line on my top eye. And people very often say, what eyeshadow have you got on? I haven't got anything on. That's just the shape of my eyes. It's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. And then I might just take a tiny bit of, maybe this one, let's have a look. These are Surratt kind of lid lacquers. They've got a lovely glow to them, and I think I'm going to use this one, which is hadaka. I'm just going to push a tiny bit of that just over the eye with my finger, so it creates a really lovely natural shine. This does mean that I then need to use a waterproof mascara because it will break down my mascara. As much as these ones are great at giving you a gloss eye, they will break down stuff because obviously that's what happens. If you put an oil or a liquid next to mascara, it's going to break it down. So I've got a little bit of this Cliniques High Impact Waterproof Mascara. I'm just going to pop that on. You can see the makeup looks really effortless. It doesn't take long at all. If you had all these products set out in front of you, 5 to 10 minutes max. This is my go-to when Ian says, come on, let's go to the pub for lunch. And I'm like, yes. This is what I quickly would put on. Do I want to look at the news report? It's just so sad. The news people are so cruel. My thoughts are with everyone who is suffering. Full stop, actually. I'm just taking that on the bottom lashes as well. And then all I would do is pop a little bit of lip seal. This is a, actually I'm going to use a different one. This is a NARS lip balm. It doesn't need to be expensive one. This one I really, really love, though it smells really artificial. This is Sakura Rose, and it is in CO Bigelow. I really like these. If you remember a couple of years ago, I had a red one and it was clear inside, but I use it on the top of my cheekbones and it creates such a lovely shine, much nicer than a Vaseline. And I've popped that on my lip. And I'm actually going to pop a little bit on the top of my cheekbone. You see this shine? It's like a gloss on the cheek. It's so nice. Better if your hair's up, because your hair will get in it a little bit maybe. I think I need a tiny bit of something coloured on my lip. Let's pop a little bit of this art stick by Bobbi Brown Bare just over the top. I'm really into the no lip liner and slightly a glossier lip, natural skin, veering away from everything that's happening elsewhere. Revive of the gloss. And then maybe do some, look, if you've got time, do some freckles. Has anyone really got time for that? No. So I'm going to take a little bit of my MAC Spiked eyebrow pencil and just going to pop some dots on there. No, you don't even need to look in a mirror for these, because freckles are not even. I like these because they don't give off too much payment, so you can really buff them in with your fingers. It just gives a subtle freckle, not like I've been splattered. Not like I've been sharted on. Just use your finger just to buff it in slightly. And any time you want a couple more, I don't tend to get freckles here naturally. They would always be up here. I don't get freckles anymore actually, full stop. As you age, they go. Hardly noticeable unless you're very, very close up, which is what I want. Look, bronzed and glowy. Freckles a tiny bit dark, bronzed and glowy, and actually really bloody simple. God, my hair's a mess. So there you have my go-to spring or summer. We've had a really lovely weather, so we're all a bit like, oh my God, the summer's here. Makeup, it's really, really simple. It's not using many products at all. Shouldn't take long at all, even though I took a bit longer to do it. But that's because I was trying to explain stuff and talk things through. If you have any ideas of videos you would like and you would like us to recreate them, then pop it down in the description box and I will try to recreate it for you. In the meantime, if you go across to Instagram, Pixie Woo, I've done quite a lot of IGTVs, which are more educational, and they're slightly shorter videos as well. Obviously we will still be on here, but with this social media game you have to be everywhere and be everything to everyone, even though I'm not really. So thanks so much for watching and I will see you again soon. Take care, bye.